From Buffalo to the big leagues, this is Maddie Tells All. Hello, friends. I have an exciting guest on the show today who's known for being a drone pilot. His social media platform is skyrocketing, and I'm so excited to have you here, Reme.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
You know, I met you at one of the Syndicate events, which we love. It's so amazing to just be with people networking on a pool that prioritize social media. As you know, that's a huge part of my brand. I help so many businesses do that. I need to know when you started social media and when you really started to notice, like, wow, I think this is going to be my career.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of came as a surprise, to be honest. I had social media, Instagram, let's say, where I have my biggest following since 2012, and I didn't see any growth until 2021. But I didn't really take focus into it until Reels came out. I posted things, but when Reels came out and I was with a specific company at the time, Beautiful Destinations with Tom Johnsey, he pushed me to do Reels. He was one of the first 10 creators to get Reels prior to Instagram releasing it.
I didn't even know that. So was it a test run for Instagram?
Yeah, they had like a bit of a test run for people to test.
Behind
so he was
scenes.
on it. He was on it, I believe, July 2020. And then I met him in September 2020. And during those months when I was working with him, he was like, man, you need to post Reels if you want to grow. And yeah, then in a year later, I made it to 10K from like 1,500 and then so on and so forth. So yeah.
Okay. When did the brand deal start coming through?
I think once I met Tom Johnsey, he was like he unlocked so many things in terms of understanding, you know, how it works within social media, content creation in general. So I learned so much from him. And then from there, I kind of just fall into place, and Beautiful Destinations is the biggest like travel content agency in the world. And
damn. So what was that approach? Did he slide in your DMs? Did you guys know each other previously?
Slide in DMs?
Yes. People be sliding into my DMs.
What happened was like, you know, in the start of everything for me is just basically trying to get established. So anytime there was a gig or something, I would take anything.
Oh yeah.
Like anything. So during June 2020, a friend of mine now, Joe Cavallini, who is a great director from Queens as well, he needed some drone shots for Suit Supply at the time, and he wanted me to fly over Times Square. And Times Square was empty at the time because it was during COVID.
Okay.
But
Ghost
BLM
town.
was going on, so it was a bit rough time to actually fly a drone because like the SWAT teams and stuff were around. Long story short is that 3 months later, Tom Johnsey was looking for an FPV pilot, which is what I specialize in New York City. And he recommended me, and he said, hey, DM this guy. And when I DM'd him a couple of days, I was actually in California, flew into New York right away, and met him. And from there, we became like really close friends, and also, you know, in business as well, in terms of him hiring me. So that's pretty much how it all went down. Yeah.
As being an entrepreneur, are you going through these contracts by yourself? Do you have a team that's helping you out?
I don't have anybody right now.
Okay.
So, I mean, I've always wanted to see if I can connect with an agency or management, but for me, it's just always on the fly, learn, you know, trial and error, whether it's negotiating or doing the contracts and things like that.
And obviously, like, YouTube is like, I try to tell everyone, I'm like, that's myself as a self-entrepreneur. Right. I just started taking on some full-time employees because I'm like so backed up. But I have obviously a lot of freelance, like lawyers that I work with. And it's just crazy because in the social media world, and especially in places like New York or even like my small town in Buffalo, so many places, so many people will be like, oh, it's a good opportunity. Oh, it's a good opportunity. And you're right. For the first 3 years, I took every opportunity I could. And then it was just like a year and a half ago that I had to put my foot down and be like, I can't just keep on taking opportunities. I need to get paid for my time. And then I had to sit down and try to understand what influencers get paid, which is so all over the place in so many ways. But when you have high engagement, good interaction, that's when you can really value yourself as an influencer. So yourself, I mean, you have what, over 200,000 followers?
Yeah, 280 right now.
280. Yeah. Do you have a media kit? Do you have a press kit? Like, what do you go based off of?
Yeah, I slack with that. I'm not gonna lie.
Let me help you. That's my specialty.
For sure. Let's do it. Let's talk after. But I think for me, it's just my portfolio is Instagram in a sense.
100%.
You know, since 2022, I've had over 30 reels hit 1 million, 40 million, whatever.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, which one was your pop-off moment?
Alaska, July 4th.
Okay.
I went last year, and nobody's ever seen this event, kind of, unless you're from those parts or maybe it crossed your feed, which I doubt it did at the time. But yeah, they send cars off a cliff, a 300-foot cliff on July 4th because Alaska has so much daylight that they don't do fireworks. So instead, they made this tradition where in Glacier View, Alaska, like about a 3-hour drive from Anchorage, they just send cars off a cliff and like thousands of people come to this event.
So they just watch them explode, essentially?
Well, nothing explodes.
Are they not allowed to have fireworks? I don't think they have fuel
in there. They just have...
Are they not allowed to have fireworks?
No, they are, but but Alaska's so like north, like towards the North Pole, let's say, or something like that. Don't quote me on that, but they have so much daylight during the summertime that.
Oh, you're saying so the fireworks won't really be seen.
Exactly.
So instead, they just throw cars off of a cliff.
Yeah, they figured a way to just like send it off a track.
How many views did it get, and when did it start picking up? Like, was it in the first 24 hours that it popped off?
Literally, yeah. So what I did was I filmed the event. I had to drive 3 hours back to Anchorage, right? And on my flight back to New York, I had to connect through Seattle. And when I connected in Seattle, I had like a 2-hour layover. I started editing right there. So within 40 minutes, I had the reel done, music, everything. And I was like, I posted it. And on my flight home, 5-hour flight, let's say, like... insane. Like it was already at a million. Like
off of the flight, and this is a fun fact, and I want people to know this because it's prime example. You weren't able to look at the content for 5 hours. You just let Instagram do its thing. So people fixate, and it's something that the dopamine's hit as soon as you post something. People keep on trying to refresh the page. Instagram doesn't like that. It means that you're already hooked on the platform, and we don't have to try to push new content on you, right? You're already going to be scrolling for hours. But if you post it and don't look at it for hours and get off the app, Instagram wants your attention, wants you back on. So they push your content. So you land, and how many views does it have at this point?
I think it was already in the high hundreds of thousands.
Damn.
Like, I think it was like 700K already.
Was that one of your first videos that popped off?
No, I mean, there's been other videos where I'm like, whoa, I didn't expect this kind of thing. But recently I had one that I flew through a airplane, the 747 aircraft. It's a parked airplane, not in use or anything, but in the backyard of a hotel.
Okay.
Once I saw that, I mean, 747 is massive. Like, it's the second biggest passenger aircraft in the world. Aside, the 380 is the biggest. But literally, I had to like toggle with management to make it happen, and they finally said okay. And when I did that one popped off very quickly too. Yeah, like I think it was 1.5 mil the first day.
So how do you keep up with the comments and DMs? You land, video starts popping off. You want to make sure you don't miss any opportunities and people sliding into DMs saying, hey, could I have the right? Because I've sold content of mine before. $500 sometimes for just like something little simple. And then every time it keeps going viral, I get paid. So did anything happen from that?
Yeah, a bunch of like news outlets that cover that event hit me up. Some of the guys that run this page, like this big car page, they hit me up for some footage. And at the time, like I didn't really, sometimes I don't sell things. I just think
you weren't prioritizing it. You were just gifting it.
Yeah, like in a way, I just felt like they were there for that event, and I was there as a guest. So I was like, I don't mind passing over some stuff, even if usually it's a small clip. Like if they need a lot, then
different
that's
story.
A bit of a different story. But yeah, I just sold something this year for Holi. For India has the Holi festival.
Okay. And so you were
Festival
there?
Of Colors. Yeah, I did that 3 years ago.
Okay.
And that was my first like mega viral. Like that one hit 22 million views at the time. And then this Alaska one just almost like, basically doubled that. Okay,
when that happens, how many DMs are you getting?
So the India one was crazy. I got like literally 500 DMs, but like mostly Indian people, like from
But
India.
How do you keep up with making sure that you're not missing out on everything? Do you have help, or do you sit there for hours and answer everything?
I mean, at this point, I think back 3 years ago, it was a bit overwhelming in a sense, like just to not, and I would answer everyone. That is a little harder to do now because what happens is some people are saying nice things, but then once you open that DM, they can kind of message you a bunch of stuff, and it can become kind of spammy in a sense. So if you are hitting up some creatives, then definitely have a purpose for that.
I was gonna say, do you have a link tree, like a website? Like, where do people go to inquire?
Literally, I just have my email on the website. So sometimes,
but that's right on your Instagram. It's easy to access.
Exactly. So I just have that. And pretty much people hit me up from there, or I usually get DMs. Like I just got a DM a couple days ago from a big hotel chain. So we're working on something now.
What made you get into being a drone pilot?
All right. So I worked for the airline for 5.5 years from 2015 to 2020.
As a drone pilot?
No, I wish. But no, I was just operations. Like I literally did a little bit of everything at the airport, worked my way up to like supervising some days and stuff like that. But during that time, I started traveling a lot, especially with the benefits. You can travel for so like
I know.
cheap
I
or
almost
for
became
free.
a flight attendant for that reason.
Yeah, so it's amazing. And I think anybody that's around 21 years old, I would definitely recommend it if you don't know what to do right 100%, now.
100%. Especially if you don't know what you want to do and don't want to go to college. I think that like you start off at like 50,000 and then you can travel like a ton.
Yeah, and it opens you up to the world, and I think that was the most important thing for me I was so curious to travel. So once I started doing that, I started picking up cameras here and there, and I was like, you know what's the next level? Drones were like pretty much
popping off,
like more commercialized at that time. Not like they were super niche still. Now everyone has a drone. Yeah. But back then, not a lot of people had it.
But they don't know how to use it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They might have one, but like your angles and, there's this content creator I follow, Yes Chef, and he has an average of 42 different angles on one Instagram reel. He has a team. That's crazy. He's able to do that. But is there people that you are inspired by or how to do those certain angles? Like the video that comes to mind when I look at your page is like the air balloon one. So that's just so aesthetic. And the horses, the wild horses, wherever that was. Yeah. But you kind of have, I would say, a system, like a flow. Do you try to keep it the same? Because obviously with social media, especially TikTok, they like to see a formula.
Right. I mean, it seems like I figured out a formula because I have at least like 5 to 10 viral reels a year. Mm-hmm. But typically, I think it's just a feeling inside when I fly. Like, when you're flying certain things, there's wind factors, there's, whatever the situation is, space and objects around. So you need to just find your way through that. And sometimes in the moment, it's just like it clicks, like the horses run perfectly. So you're like, oh, I really want to get low on them. And you get closer. So with the balloons, obviously, when they're taking off and stuff and you want to know your angle of the view behind it, it's all about just making something feel unreal. That's always my premise when it comes down to content, is to make something that nobody's seen before, or it makes them feel like, is this AI? Is this real? Is this like, what's going, like, where is this? And that's always been my thing with drones. Like, just make that happen. Do you think
your background with operations has completely helped you to formulate that?
I think my background with that helped structure my my way of moving through things and to constantly find problem-solving ways. So if you run into a wall, there's, what's the way around that or through it. So that for sure. But in terms of flying the drone, I think video games, probably. Okay,
I like it.
I'm a big Call of Duty guy, and I've always played video games. So I think just, you could fly two ways with a drone. You can fly with your thumbs or you can pinch. And I'm a thumb guy, so that comes from video games for sure. Probably.
Okay, and so keeping up to date with everything and what's trending, and are you going? Obviously, you go to networking events. How do you find networking events, and what ones have you gone to?
I mean, I've been to so many probably over the time. Especially in Bali, let's say, like everybody's a creative in Bali.
Okay, I want to go to
even
Bali.
If you go to a party or you go to a dinner, like everyone there is probably
an entrepreneur.
Yeah, or a content creator or something. So you're always constantly networking, and people always want to connect and see where they can take themselves and stuff. So there's been a lot of events I've been to, and how to move through that is, or the reason why I go is just, I mean, sometimes you just need human connection or 100%. Somebody that can understand where you're coming from, because a lot of times you might speak to your friends and stuff that don't do what you do, or they might work like a normal job and stuff, because our job is definitely not that normal.
No, and especially so hard to find people like, this is something I always talk about. Entrepreneurship is the loneliest road. So many people aren't on your schedule. And then you're so hard on yourself because you're thinking in your brain you have to work 9 to 5, Monday through Friday.
Right.
And I'm always constantly telling myself, I'm at a coffee shop. And the second the sun comes out and I just worked all weekend at events, hosting, emceeing, creating content. On a Tuesday, if I want to go to the park and go sunbathe, I should go do that. But in my head, I'm freaking
You're like,
out.
I'm not doing enough.
Exactly. I'm being lazy. How do you keep your mindset strong?
Well, until this year, I pretty much haven't slowed down for 5 years. And this year's been much slower in a lot of ways. And I think it's actually been good.
Prioritizing what matters, what's going to make you money.
I think it just happened. Like, work was a bit slow this year. So I think the universe was just like, hey, we're not going to give you anything until you actually see like how valuable it is to like do the things you love to do that are not based on what you usually pressure yourself for, which is creating content, traveling, always trying to get that next viral reel, let's say. I mean, I don't chase it technically. I see something, I'm like, okay, let's go. But yeah, it slowed me down a lot this year. And I think it's important to take those days. You're not going to really miss out on anything technically. If you have the drive, you're going to find a way to do it either way. So yeah, take that day, chill out. I go to the movies a lot. I play my Call of Duty at night with my boys, with the family. I make sure like those things always happen when I have the time for it. But once it comes down to work, it's time to prioritize.
So if you had a digital resume right now, what would be the main 3 topics that you would go for?
Digital resume on as a subject, like
say you were on LinkedIn. Say you were really trying to sell yourself and your SEO was built in and you want people to find you because you do 3 of these main things.
Okay. That's tough.
You got the drone
there's
pilot.
There's things I love, and then there's things that I, obviously creation, like whether it's heading a project or something, like creative director. I would say drone pilot because I fly like pretty much every drone there is.
Yes.
And third one's tough. I was
gonna say, like, I feel like you love the travel aspect, so maybe something of like travel creator. More a niche to let people know that you're in that traveling category.
Yeah, right.
And you worked for a huge travel company.
Yeah, so I mean that would definitely be there because I've been to 63 countries already, and I've seen this. I've seen the
63.
Some of my friends are in 80, 90, 100. So
when
I say 63, I'm like, But
I meant 19, and I thought. I was like, people are like, whoa, 19 countries. But I'm like, did you hit most of those in the last few years as your business has exploded? I
think I did like half of them.
Okay.
I think by 2019, I already had like 31, let's say. So now 32. But I've been to a lot of countries multiple times, like 8, 10 times, So, I mean, there's some places that just keep bringing me back. And
I saw Croatia Yacht Week.
Yeah, that was fun.
I need to put that on my must places to go visit.
Let me know. I mean, my friend owns like the boat party thing, and you definitely can hop on that. You'll have fun there.
Yes, I know. One of my best friends, Tim, has not shut up about it. And then when I was in Italy, I met, I believe his name was Max, maybe it was, and he was heading on there, and I followed his journey through social media, and I'm like, the social media and FOMO.
Croatia's a vibe.
Yeah, like the FOMO is real. When your friends are doing something and everything. Right. But when I saw that video, I mean, people are jumping off boats, doing everything. So you've obviously been back to, like, what are some of your destinations you've been back to a million times? Because you're like, anytime someone contacts you for work, you're like, yeah, I'm going to go there. I love it.
I mean, Turkey's always like somewhere close to my heart. Like my he's like my brother Sam there. It's just family, so it just always feels good to go to Cappadocia, which is where the balloons were shot and the horses and things. So I always feel great there, which my group trip is coming up there in 2 months. So that's gonna be super fun.
What do you mean group trip? Like you have a group of friends?
People are booking a specific package.
Okay.
With me to go travel and see Cappadocia.
Wait, so you don't even talk about this. So, okay, when we go back to the LinkedIn, talk about traffic. Yeah. Travel is 100% on there.
Right.
So you're organizing travel staycations?
Yeah, like people are going to fly to Cappadocia, and from that point on, we're gonna take them to some cave hotels, like to sleep in the cave hotels, which my brother Sam owns, you know. So we basically set it up that way, and he knows the town so well and everything that, you know, we make this experience really, really different than if you went there on your own. And also it's an opportunity for people to create content, shoot with drones, get drone information from me, like about if they're trying to excel their career in their content creation.
So networking obviously is going
I'm there,
to be
like
huge
as a
and
guide
help.
in a sense for all things on this trip. You know, if they want to do this, then I help them with that. If they want to learn this, I help them with that kind of thing. Yeah.
No, I love that. I just was approached by a travel company to start doing some traveling where they pretty much take care of all the dirty work, and you know, it's my face, my brand with it. And I just think in the influencer space, so many people's number one question when they come up to you, I'm sure as well, like, it's how'd you grow your following? How'd you do that? And it's like, well, if you have a, you know what I mean, 6 days to hang out and chat with me, like, I'm going to set you up for success. Right. And it was just when were you at the NASCAR event?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's when we first met, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So having it where you're like, we were together for 20 hours with all these creators. We've met a lot of the people together, but it's like 2 hours here and there. It's like little, you know, not crazy exciting conversation. But then when you have 20 hours together, you're like, we're in it.
Yeah, and you can mingle for an hour with like so many different pods of people.
Oh my God, we were on a picnic, having a blanket with like all the girls hanging out, and having, how many days is the event that you're doing? 5 days with that, to be able to pick your brain and have access to you is, I don't even know how you price yourself at that. And that's what I'm trying to figure out with the travel situation, because I do creative consulting meetings and charge by the hour, and I charge a pretty penny, but you're opening up to my network pool. And if you're like, oh, I really need someone that's a travel agent, oh, I need someone that's in the NFL, like I have those kind of connections. So I'm opening those doors for you and trying to connect you with those brands. And that's where I value myself at. But it is hard because so many people, when you're out, will just want to pick your brain all the time. And you're like, hey, at the end of the day, like, this is kind of a consulting. And when 100%. do you find yourself trying to buckle down and be like, hey, let's set up a meeting and get things going?
Yeah, I mean, I've never done that. Typically, you know, when you're in a position to, you know, you're knowledgeable in an area, obviously you want to be paid for your time, right? So this group trip is a good opportunity for people to do that, like you said. But aside from that, if I'm in person with somebody and I see a FPV pilot coming up and they're super excited to like get into it, I'm not gonna be like, hey bro, like, you know, you need to book me kind of thing. I'm just like, look, these are things you need to look for. Just make sure you keep this mindset, just have fun. Cause I was in that position one time 100%. And I had people help me for no money. Like so I had mentors that were really, really good at the time, and they helped build me into where I am. So I just want to pass that on as well in a lot of ways. But yeah, if you want my time, if you want more time aside from those maybe 3 or 4 things I'll tell you, then yeah, of course we can work something out.
100%. Yeah. Building relationships. I only want to set all my friends up for success. I have like 3 or 4 amazing mentors, and I always try to pay them. And they're like, Madeline, do not give me money. And I'm like, well, your time is everything right now. It's like negotiating contracts. That is the hardest thing to do, because in your head you want to undervalue yourself, and then everyone else is like, oh my God, you need to charge more. But it's so hard because for 3 years, I did so much, like during COVID, I did so much free marketing. So it was very hard to get my mindset out of doing free work to doing paid work when I was working so strictly in the hospitality industry, where hospitality restaurants are they only are profiting 3 to 13%, where clothing brands and other things can profit 30% to 60% to more. So it was very hard niche, but that's why I had to open up the doors, do a little bit rebranding, and really buckle in on doing brand strategy for businesses and setting them up for success. But hospitality is a huge part of my industry. So you've been contracted. I'm sure you've been overseas where you're with a company for 3-4 days. What does hospitality mean to you?
I mean, hospitality is, you know, I think the main thing for me is just like that family vibe, welcoming, like everyone is there to. Hospitality for me is a little weird because when I used to travel, you pay for certain things. And now when it's given to you and you're still treated very well and you're able to do the things you want to do, whether it's in content or relax and stuff like that, I think that feeling is amazing. People that work in hospitality technically sometimes don't make a lot of money, but they're still there front facing. They're still giving that good energy and stuff. And I think that's what I see as hospitality, and it's just that feel,
I love the fact that you said family. It's like so amazing. When I was working at this one restaurant I worked at for like 8 years, I just had like this old couple regular who'd always request me everything. I was so happy to see them. It was like I was like their granddaughter at one point, But you're a world traveler, and hospitality is so different. I grew up a lot of times going to Mexico, going to Cancun, and that hospitality was amazing. They're just so energetic, so bubbly. They're so incredible. And I'm trying to think of where, I've been to Colombia. Colombia is insane. I traveled there twice, went all over the place for a decent amount of time. And sometimes I'm like, is it because we're American because they know we tip? But either way, they're not always expecting that, but they are going out of their way. And sometimes we went back to this one place in Colombia that was owned by this French guy. He was so excited to see us every single time. His hostel got better and better. And everyone said the same thing. They're like, we're treated like kings and queens here. Right. We want to come back. But have you ever been on set and like got amazing food, or, like your hotel was incredible?
Too many times. I had a big contract with Fairmont for a bit, hotels, and they treated me like a king every time. But the one trip that I think was like crazy over the top experience was we shot so there's a company named Jumeirah from the UAE, and they basically partnered with this island called Tanda Island, and they're completely private island, and it costs $35,000 per night, so 200, and you have to book 1 week minimum.
Wait, $35,000 a night?
A night, yeah.
And you have to book a week
it's
minimum?
Your own island. You got a helicopter ride into the island. So we flew in with the heli. It was just crazy because we literally had our own private chefs, like everything. So that was like the best food I've ever had on a work trip. Venezuela had some great food too, but like these chefs were so amazing. Any juice you want, massage. Like this lady had magical hands. Like I had some messed up like traps here for a long time from carrying so many heavy bags, and she just worked her magic. It was crazy. And then that same trip, they had a private game reserve, so like for safari in South Africa. So that was in Tanzania, and then we flew to South Africa, and then we stayed in the CEO's like house. And this place is like $100,000 mattress kind of thing. Private chef. He was flying his heli over the house, droning it.
I've never been on a private helicopter. And I would, there's sometimes they're crashing lately. But if I get the opportunity to go on a private helicopter, I'm going.
Yeah.
If I go out that way.
In the last 2 years, I've been on like 30 helicopter rides for work. And I didn't go on any prior to, I went on like one prior to that or something. So yeah, it's been pretty crazy. So, there's so many stories in that sense, like for work, that are unreal that I would have never imagined, even though I manifested it.
Oh, yes. Well, manifestation is something that, it's so hard. I have imposter syndrome, 1,000%.
Everybody has it.
Don't we all?
I have it.
Yeah, it's just like so hard because like when I look on the back end of your stuff, I'm like, oh my goodness, to have...
You think we have it down, right?
To have 2 viral videos a year, I'm like, you know what I mean?
Right,
like that's only happened to me. TikTok, I've had a good amount.
Okay.
But so do you prioritize TikTok?
I can't figure it out. Like I'm thinking I'm gonna switch it up and go front facing on TikTok more.
Yes.
And then keep my Instagram mysterious because people don't really know what I look like on Instagram as much.
With Instagram, for people who are small business owners, people who are face forward for their brand, come from a town that's very loyal. I'm from Buffalo, New York. People are so loyal there. When they see anything Buffalo related, they're engaging, they're commenting, they're doing all that kind of stuff. It was such an amazing platform to grow my Buffalo audience. It's by Canada, so I have a big following there. And just like Bills fans in general, right? There's like 14 million of us.
Nice.
Go Bills. But having that has been amazing. But I started prioritizing my TikTok like a year ago and went from 0 to 50,000 followers in a year compared to me having 50 on Instagram that took me like 5 years to grow. I've had 7 videos that are in the millions. I have one with 7.2, 2.3, all that kind of stuff. A lot of Buffalo related. But I have such an international crowd there, and I've been contacted by brands that like don't even know I exist on Instagram. So with yours, because I don't think your market is so like New York or whatever, like you're doing all this international stuff, I think your platform will be TikTok. But you really have to post 3 times a day, 7 times a week. I think it's important to maybe get a virtual assistant, an intern, someone who it's not brain surgery. It's taking a bunch of your videos from Instagram and pumping them out on TikTok. Right. And TikTok likes hashtags. Instagram doesn't like hashtags. They like them in the comments, and really studying the difference between the two. But I just can't stress enough. Like, but the trolls on TikTok is their user 6572, like insane.
Listen, like people comment. I don't even like put energy into answering some comments anymore. Even though like I really like the New York in me is like, I want to bring it out, you know. But I tend to stay away from it. I've dabbled before, and it turns into a whole thread.
Yep.
Good for algorithm, but I don't really want to.
I just block them.
Yeah, I don't really want to deal with that anymore in a sense, because like most anything viral that I have is gonna have that negative, mostly positive, but it's always gonna have these stupid comments.
Oh yeah, but I think that if you really are gonna go on the TikTok, my advice 100% is just keep your business in the way that you're going. Don't make that another distraction. Hire someone to just start pumping it out, because it's just copy and paste at that point. If you are trying to add that again to your agenda, I think you're going to lose your mind. It's just trusting someone. But I'm sure you've worked with so many people that have like freelance and help. And obviously with the networking events that we're at, like someone can help you out. But I was like, I wanted to, like, I thought it was so funny when I met you that when I was in New York, I'm like, am I going to find any people that like I have mutuals with? And it's been happening nonstop. So you and I are talking and you're like, I have one person that I know from Buffalo. Right. And as soon as you were saying, I don't know if you were talking about DJ or did you used to DJ? Well, I don't know what the relationship was.
I think I just said like,
maybe I know a Buffalo, DJ. In Buffalo. Yeah. And I was like, and then you're like Crespo, and I was like, that's my DJ in Buffalo.
Yeah, that's cool. It's crazy.
Where'd you guys meet?
So basically, I was in a band for 8 years, in a rock band.
What instrument?
I play guitar.
Okay.
Yeah. So the drummer, Nathan, he's like grew up with Manny and stuff like that. They're super close.
Because Manny grew up in New York too?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. And he moved to Florida at some point, I believe, from what I remember. But yeah, I met Manny when basically like the band first started, and he was always good vibes and things like that. And Nathan was super close to him and his sister and stuff like that. So yeah, that's how I knew. And then he always talks about how he's in Buffalo, and that's when you said Buffalo, I'm like, oh, I know one guy in Buffalo at least.
I just found out from the Syndicate event, one of the girls, her page is like Girl Who Eats Art. I don't know if you've met her,
right.
But
okay,
her family like I don't know if they own a huge farm, but they give all the chicken wings to Buffalo,
really,
like to a ton of the restaurants. And I was just laughing because I was just like, being so new to New York, like when did you move here? Or no, you grew up here.
I'm born and raised here.
Okay, born and raised here. Coming here, like I had no clue if I was going to be able to meet friends, because the first few months was the middle of winter. Nobody's going out.
Yeah, it's pretty depressing during that time.
So depressing. No one. I don't want to take an hour to go hang out with you on a Tuesday, like on the train, whatever.
In the wind, in the cold. No,
I'm good. So I just didn't know if it was going to happen, and now it's been like, boom, boom, boom. Like I just you came to my house party. How fun.
Right. Yeah, super.
Did you meet some fun people?
Yeah. I mean, Ryan, obviously, a couple other people there. I forgot the other guy's name, but he was very energetic. He's a massive Yankee fan as well. I can't remember his name.
Was it Christian? No, he think he's like a Mets fan. Xavier. See, I don't even know. There were so many people.
Xander.
Xander. Yeah.
We had a nice combo about like Mets, Yankees.
Hysterical. Yeah, oh my God.
He's so much energy. I loved it. It was a great talk.
It was so cool because a ton of my friends, like my best friend Lainey, her group of friends are more like when they have such a big group of people because they all grew up in Long Island.
Okay.
So when you have parties, it's a ton of their friends that they all went to high school with, college with, everything. And then mixing our group of friends, now that I'm here and freelancing for some businesses, it was such an internet, people from Australia, there's people from Scotland, people from New Zealand, like cool. all over the place. And I love curating them together, but I love placing it. Like that event was curated to have certain people network, like not everyone has friends in the TV space. My friend Ryan, like any of that, like he loved your stuff. He talks so highly about it. I'm like, and he's producing like 3 movies right now. I'm like, when you need a drone pilot, because he didn't have one. I'm going to
actually hit him up.
I'm
probably today or tomorrow. Like I want to talk to him about some stuff for sure. Yeah,
it's so important after you meet people like that. Like, which reminds me, I just went to the Fancy Food Festival and I have a list of like 18 business cards that I have not reached out to. But that's why it's important to have a podcast and talk about it, you know. But
so you remind yourself, right?
Exactly, because I'm like that needs to be on my to-do list tonight.
Yeah.
But
I got you.
I obviously come from a small town. What is your background?
Yeah, I'm born and raised in Queens. I'm Puerto Rican Panamanian. So, yeah, I mean, growing up here has been probably the best thing, especially since Queens is one of the most, like, I think it is the most, let's say, it's the biggest melting pot in the world,
for
technically.
Sure.
Like, every language. So, I grew up with all types of people. So, it definitely helped my travels and stuff. But, yeah, background's that, my dad's from the Bronx, so that's why I'm a Yankees fan. Originally, in case people
I love it. I didn't even notice that you were
yeah, I rep my Yankees all the time.
I'm a Yankees fan solely just because like my dad and grandma are, but like I've only seen one game before in my life, and it was the Yankees and Red Sox.
One game?
Yeah, at the old stadium.
Yeah.
Taking the subway from New Jersey at my Uncle Dave's house. My dad taking us, I think, with my 3 brothers and sisters on the train, squished like sardines.
Yeah, the 4
Did
train
you go?
Or
Oh, I have no clue. Did you go when it was? They call it the Subway Series when that was all happening.
In the World Series or the Subway Series that happens every year.
Oh, I don't. Maybe it happens every single year.
Yeah,
I know
happens
nothing.
every summer. At least like 4 to 6 games a year. They play at Citi Field.
And they just say that because it's both home teams going against each other.
Yeah, I mean Mets and Yankees are a rival within the city, you know, at the end of the day. They're different leagues, but since Queen, it's basically like a 40-minute ride from Citi Field to Yankee Stadium or Yankee Stadium to Citi Field on a good day. So, yeah, I mean, it's across town. It's,
I love it.
Interborough kind of like rival thing, Yeah.
So with, your newfound, I'll call it glory of just like being a boss and all these connections, have you been able to spoil any of your family members?
Not yet because it becomes very expensive, I think.
And it's probably you're just hired as an independent contractor. You don't get a +1.
Yeah, technically, no. I mean, with Fairmont, I had I had one room, but like usually it was a massive room with like 2 rooms or something. So I would bring someone that was good on camera or a friend or something to help me shoot, and then from there.
But you can spoil friends; they're part of the family.
I mean,
all day.
I definitely want to take my dad to Japan at some point, or my mom somewhere.
All the sushi. Everyone told me I'd be scarred, like coming back here, and it just won't be the same.
Yeah, I mean, with the airline benefits. Yeah. Oh yeah, no, for sure. I mean, the thing about Japan is like one of my friends, Jerome. He's pretty big on Instagram and TikTok. He goes to Japan once a year pretty much, and he only eats sushi in Japan because he knows everywhere else it doesn't even match. So definitely you'll be scarred.
I eat sushi like 3 or 4 times a week because I have this like
maybe you don't want to go then.
I call it this like the bougie grocery. Like I obviously have my bodega grocery store. I have the other grocery store across the street, but like on my block behind, I just have I think called the Lincoln Market. And they just have, you can go shopping and just be like, hey, I want to have like a fresh roll made for you while you shop. Like back in our hometown, we have Wegmans. Have you ever been to a Wegmans?
No.
Okay, apparently there is like a 3-star Michelin sushi restaurant in the bottom of Wegmans. Wegmans is a huge grocery store. They win every year for like best places to work, top 100. They just popped off. They have one in Brooklyn, one in New York now. But apparently, they have like, it's called like Astro something. And it's like insane. We'll have
Michelin
to go
star.
there. Yes. Sushi to me just like makes me so happy. And it's crazy that sometimes it fills you up for just like the little thing. But then I'm hungry like 2 hours later.
Yeah, that's the only thing. Fish, anything like that usually doesn't fill you up like too much. It's the rice.
We're coming to a close soon, but I love talking about, my buffalo. I love talking about the Bills. I love talking about food. Have you had buffalo wings at all in New York?
Yeah, of course. Buffalo wings. Yeah.
Have you gone any place that you're like, whoa, like this is amazing?
I don't know. You anywhere?
Oh, okay.
You gotta give me somewhere.
Yeah. Bonnie's.
I haven't had buffalo wings in a long time.
Okay.
So now,
if you're gonna get the closest version, there is this place called Bonnie's in Park Slope. Phenomenal. Okay. Make their own sauce. Their burgers are great. Right. Just like they have a beef on weck, which you probably don't even know what that is.
Are they from Buffalo?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's a beef on weck, and it's shaved like roast beef, like that they do like a medium rare, like medium, and then they give you a roll that has fresh sea salt and what is it, like kosher salt on there, rye seasoning, and then they give you like au jus and you dip it in there, and it's just out of this world. But it's a Buffalo thing.
Should I go with you or?
Yeah.
Let's roll through.
When the Bills are going to be here the second week of August, and this town's about to be overran. No, for the stadium, they're playing the Jets or the Giants, whoever they're playing.
Second week of August already?
No, sorry, September.
Okay, I was about to say that's preseason usually.
But that's happening. Okay, cool. And then this place that I discovered last night that I went to was called the Deep End. I think it's called the Deep End.
Sounds familiar.
It was absolutely fantastic wings, and it was so funny because I walk into the bar. It's like 12 o'clock, so we did a little Sunday fun day at No Way Lounge or something in Brooklyn. Incredible. And then we go in there, and I'm like, I said something. I'm like, like what's on your late night menu? And he's like, it's not on there, but we have wings. And I was like, I'm from Buffalo. Like, how good are your wings? So the chef goes, I'm from Buffalo, and I make my own.
I think I saw that in your story.
Yes, and I was
he's like pouring the sauce or something.
Yeah, and I was like, can I videotape you? And those were crispy, crunchy, everything. And I convinced them last night to turn into a Bills bar, and they DM'd me this morning, and they're like, are you serious about that? And I was like, yes. Any bar that wants to become a Bills bar, I will come in there and do. Right. If I'm free, I will come in there and do free.
Actually, I'll send them over.
Yes, I will come do some free promo. It's anything for my Bills. Do you have a football team that you like?
I mean, technically, I'm a Giants fan, but the weird thing about football for me was like when I grew up, it was Jerry Rice. Like that as a player, I was like, yo, this guy's the man, and Barry Sanders and stuff like that. So whenever I played Madden, I was always making sure I was these guys. I didn't really start falling into like my Giants roots until like I think the late '90s with Tiki Barber, stuff like that, and they played the Ravens in the Super Bowl. They got destroyed, and then from there I started following them heavy, and then when they won the 2 Super Bowls against Tom Brady and the Patriots, those runs were insane. Like,
well, now I can make you, if you can be a Giants fan, that's fine.
I like the Bills. I root for the Bills.
I was going to tell you, now your second favorite team,
Jets I'll
knowing
never root
me.
for.
Okay, good. Now your second favorite team is going to be the Buffalo Bills.
If they can keep it up,
yeah.
Sure,
they be keeping it up,
They got to get past, Mahomes and stuff.
They got to get past and make a Super Bowl. Like, come on. They just keep coming so close.
They lost to Mahomes last year? Again?
Yeah, but refs got fired after that game, which is insane.
I'm trying to remember what was the play, because I think I remember something controversial. Yeah,
I don't know. There's something about like a tush push that's huge on there.
But they're keeping that.
Yeah, that was something, but like there was just like 2 terrible calls, and like a flag was thrown, but then like the ref was seen like picking the flag back up and putting it in his pocket, like sketchy stuff.
I gotta watch.
Yeah, because it was a nail biter. Like we could have got back.
I mean, it's always a great game with the Chiefs and Bills. To be honest, like everyone looks forward to that, or like Lamar versus Mahomes or Lamar versus Allen, like kind of thing in the AFC, so it's nice. But yeah, I mean, the Giants have been so sad the last few years that I cannot take that stress anymore. Like the Knicks were bad for a long time, and now we're finally getting somewhere. So I'm like, but I still watch the Knicks no matter what.
Yeah.
But the Giants are not on that level of my Knicks and Yankees fandom. My dad is. My dad stays true to the Giants.
Oh, I'm sure.
And he's always like texting me, and I'm like, "Why are you watching this, man? It's just stress."
It literally sounds stressful.
It is. But the Bills were bad for a while too.
I know, but like I was like so young then, so it didn't even matter. I just went to the games in the cold and just didn't complain about it because my father was just so happy.
Right.
But as we come to the end, I want you to just use this as your platform. You can talk about where people can find you, and anything else.
Yeah, so I mean, my Instagram is at Reme, REME_Martyr. If you're asking why the Martyr's there, is because my band name was Crystal Martyr at the time when I had my
Still
Instagram.
Staying
so
true
I just
to the
didn't
roots,
change it. Yeah. I mean, just a group trip. If you're interested in going to Cappadocia or Turkey in September, from September 5th to 9th, we still have a couple slots open. So if you're interested in exploring yourself as a traveler, as a content creator, drone pilot, and seeing one of the most magical places on earth. And I've been to a lot of places. This place is just crazy.
That sounds. And when is the trip?
September 5th to 9th.
Okay, cool. Because this will be out by then.
Yeah. So if you want to come, just hit me up on Instagram and we can work something out with that, with the packages and all that. And yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to create magic. So I'm looking for new opportunities to do that. So right now I'm in a chill stage of my life, but I think it's a new transition into something big. We don't know yet, but stay tuned.
Well, I can't wait. Thank you so much. And again, guys, his content is insane.
Thank you.
My favorite thing I can't express is like the horses wild free, because horses should just be running free all the time.
Yeah.
So go check him out. And now we're turning him into a Bills fan. So go Bills.
We'll see.
Cheers, guys.
All right. Peace.
From small town roots to the big city hustle. Remember, your past doesn't define you. Your passion does. If something hits home today, share it, tag me, even write in. Be a part of this community. This isn't just my mic, it's ours. Check the episode description below for all the links. Until next time, keep building your empire your way.